So I know my opinion on this doesn't necessarily matter that much. I'm not a big creator. I'm not somebody with any kind of influence with their words, like a fan base to point in any direction. And I wouldn't want that anyway, even if I had a huge following. Not to diminish the following I have. I love my following. It's just if I was like a streamer or YouTuber with 50,000, 100,000 subs, where my opinion suddenly becomes more weighted, I wouldn't want to influence anybody else's opinion on this particular topic because all feelings people have towards it right now are extremely valid. And of course, I'm talking about the Linkin Park situation. I, I personally don't have. I don't know where I stand on it because like I'm a old head Linkin Park fan. I've been listening to their music. I mean, I don't think I discovered Linkin Park extremely early on. I don't. It's one of those things where I don't remember what the first song I heard was, which album was out, but like Hybrid Theory and Meteora were my childhood. Back 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. I was all aboard Meteora, Hybrid Theory, Minutes to Midnight. I was a gigantic, huge, and inspired Linkin Park fan. I mean, hell, my name's my pseudonyms online are Lincoln's Legion, Lincoln covers, Lincoln. It's based on Lincoln Park, because my original Xbox gamertag that I first made when I got Xbox Live was Lincoln Park 51975, and then from there it went to IXX Lincoln XXI, and then it went to AH Lincoln. So like Lincoln has always been an alias for me, has been a name I resonate with, and largely due to Chester and his influence in the music. Why are people suddenly texting me so much? Like I hit record and I got like two people suddenly texting me. Nobody texted me. Oh my god, another one. What in the fuck is happening? Um so this whole situation is very complicated. And for me personally, I can't I keep leaning one way and then somebody says something that makes me lean the other and then I lean back and then I just as with everything, man, I'm just so in the middle. And now let me say the whole the whole idea that there is no Linkin Park without Chester. I mean, as much as I want to say, yeah, that's true. Chester was the face, he was the voice, he was the emotion. It's like, to be fair, Linkin Park is Mike's band, and we that's a fact we have to accept. Um, However, Chester came in like a fucking steamroller and took over and just absolutely became the face and the persona of Linkin Park. He embodied Linkin Park. Um, and his passing is still something that I struggle with. I see One More Light videos, I see memoriam videos on TikTok, I see a photo on Facebook from an ad, or just like a sponsored random bot post that just shows Chester, and I get choked up, man. Like Chester and his music absolutely kept me afloat on my worst days. They were and are a safe place for me, a place where I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Where I can feel seen and understood, and where the lyrics align with me in a way that I couldn't possibly express. Like, even if the themes don't. And that's the best part about music is like a lot of stuff he was singing about, like when it comes to his abuse of drugs and his own abuse in life and his relationship issues and personal struggles. I don't align with like the drug side stuff because I didn't have that, but the lyrics come to life in a way that I can resonate with and understand. They're the same words with a different meaning. That's the beauty of art and music, is what you take from it is what it means to you, even if that's not the original sourced message. you know he could be singing about a fight with a girlfriend or like family issues or something, and I'm like, those lyrics are expressing this, but what I'm getting from it is something else I'm connecting to. And he sang those lyrics with just such emotion and power because they were personal. And I know that the way it works is like, the vocalists get credit a lot of times, at least in a very generic way, of like they wrote every word to the song that they're singing, which is not true. Like the whole band collaborates, like especially, him and Mike both being the vocalists. We're both writing lyrics together. You can watch behind the scenes videos of them just like bouncing ideas like, oh, what if instead of we said this, what if we said this, and they piece it together. So it's easy to attribute, be like, those are all Chester's words. And like, even if not every single word was his, he took control of the power of the word. He gave power to the words when he sang. And which has inspired me to want to sing. I'd say Linkin Park has inspired me more to want to sing than Korn has. Although it has shifted more towards Korn because that's just like more in tune with my vocal range. When I was doing old covers on the channel, I was covering more Linkin Park. I mean, it was pretty neck and neck, but I did a lot of Linkin Park too because they were a rage release for me. They were an emotional, like a tear jerking release for me. Um, they were the. It's hard to describe, man. It's hard to get into, and I don't want to get into it too bad because I will get emotional. But the point I'm trying to make is when Emily went on stage to sing those songs, I I didn't get the emotion from it. And there was she, I think they sang Waiting for the End, and she did have to, like, not sing some lyrics because she was getting emotional. And I know that those lyrics have meaning to her too, and I can only imagine just how good it feels to be able to go up there and sing along to the songs that she cherished and that she wanted to be a part of. That just connected pieces in her, and I can totally see her going up there and just like, this is it, and I don't support the backlash that they have gotten as a whole. Whereas, like, I don't necessarily agree with the steps they took, because yeah, sure, there were other singers who could be like, I see TikToks all the time of, at Linkin Park, this is the person you should have chose. This was your new vocalist. But like, here's the thing, man. If we had a sound-alike of Chester, people, they would have gotten so much shit of like, they replaced Chester with somebody that sounds like him, that looks like him, or like, they would have. I argue they would have gotten more shit if they went with a Chester sound-alike. And as great as it would have been to be hearing those songs with somebody that sounds like Chester, if they reformed the band with that would have felt like a replacement. The thing I'm seeing a lot of is, this isn't a replacement for Chester, it's a new beginning. And I do agree with that. It is a new beginning, because she doesn't try to imitate Chester. She has her moments, and she can match the cadence at times, which is something I want to talk about too. But she's not trying to be Chester, and I think that's very important to keep note of. She's not trying to step into his shoes. She's standing behind his footprints. She's standing beside his footprints, not in them. And that's an intentional move, because I can just imagine the backlash they would have gotten. Like, here's this guy that sounds like Chester. Here's this girl that sounds like Chester. And they would have been like, I mean, that's cool because it sounds like the songs again, but it's not him. You're propping up this effigy that's pretending to be Chester. It wouldn't feel right. It would feel like more of a slap in the face. It's hard because the performance that she gave with a lot of songs, I struggled with. I personally, and I mean, coming from me, it doesn't mean a lot, but in my opinion, I think she was singing a lot of those songs in too low of a tune. She was singing like, I've become so numb, instead of I've become so numb. Like, she had her pitch misplaced. And then she had parts in there that were beautiful. Like, but again, she started with like, crawling in my skin. Like, she just pushed it down low and like gravelly, which sounds good when you do it right now. So I'm sorry, like, I can't actually do that right now. I did just sing like 5 songs, so my throat is fucking wrecked, so I can't even like pretend to make that sound good. I'm not even trying. But like, she was pushing at such a lower octave and just a different rung on the ladder, that it's like, and she has the range. I don't know of how well, because I didn't hear her band before. I didn't know who the hell she was, honestly. I don't listen to a lot of female artists, but not for lack of want. I just never find one that really fits with me. There's a few. There's like Amaranth and Baby Metal, of course, but like, there's not a lot of heavier or alternative music that really sticks with me for female artists. So I didn't know who she was, and I still really don't know a lot about her. But I do believe she has the vocal range. We heard that on their single. I haven't gotten The Emptiness Machine out of my head since I heard it. The song has been on repeat. It is such a good song. And I think that's what's even more tragic in my head is like, thankfully we have an album coming out with them, so we can actually hear some original music with Emily. But it does feel almost like a cover band on stage. And that was only the one performance. It's hard because, like, they're all going up there. It's a weird energy. It's an underground show. It's Emily's first time with the band up there, so, like, they're trying to find the groove and whatever have you. It's not like she's not like she doesn't have experience, but it is a completely different setting. She's probably nervous as fuck going up there, filling Chester's shoes, kind of thing. Even though, at the beginning of the show, and I absolutely cried when I cried when Mike said that. In the role of Chester is all of you, dude. Fuck. And that's also important right there. Is he didn't say, and in the role of Chester, Emily. No, he's like, I'm Mike. That's Emily, or she's Emily, and in the role of Chester Bennington tonight is all of you. That's so important because that shows the respect, the absolute respect. And this is not. I can only imagine how tough of a decision this was for the band to do. I mean, it's been 7 years, dude. 7 years. And Linkin Park has just sat there dry until recently, when we got re-releases, we got songs made of old recordings, Lost, and all the songs they released recently were fucking phenomenal. I love them. But here's the thing also is, like, I can only imagine, in my head, I'm like, are you really going to get mad at this? But some of you might have been happier if they did AI Chester. I did hear an AI Chester singing The Emptiness Machine, and it sounded fucking great, but that's because it's Chester. Anything he sings sounds fucking great. He's a god. He's a demon and an angel. He is fucking flawless, which is what also makes it so hard because Emily has to live up to that. So God, I do not envy being in her position. And I am excited to see the new beginning. I am torn on whether or not I want them to be singing old Linkin Park music. I am torn on whether or not I think they should have just started a new band, especially because there's only, 2, 3 original members, I think. I think Brad is still doing guitars for studio stuff, but touring, it's like Mike and Mr. Hahn and Joe Hahn. I think that's it for touring. So, like, it doesn't feel like Linkin Park, and the energy doesn't feel right. And it also doesn't feel right because Mike is also up there, like, he's working a lot of electronics. He's doing a lot of stuff, like, behind a podium instead of being right up in front with a guitar or with the mic and just fucking right next to the vocalist. And yeah, they sing together, but it's like he's, like, working on other stuff. So it feels a little bit vapid. I'm not gonna lie. I am curious to see how future live performances will go. If she'll take what she learned from that first go and take what she learned from all the hate, and it is an egregious amount of hate. I'm seeing a lot of support. It's true that a lot of people are supporting her, and I'm supporting her too. I want her to succeed because, guys, at the end of the day, we're getting Linkin Park back, kind of. But, like, it's what else do you want? Do you want Chester to pass and then just have the band wither and die? Chester wouldn't want that. And I say that I didn't know Chester. I don't know what the fuck he would have wanted. And I hate that people use that all the time. Like, Chester would not have wanted this. Chester would have wanted this. Like, you don't know. I don't know. And the way I look at it is I think he's not so fucking full of himself. Because he has stated in interviews that Linkin Park is everybody. It's not just him. They're all pieces to the complete project, So, like, with one missing... But then it also becomes like the boat paradox, the boat thing, where it's like you just keep replacing boards in the boat until basically there's no original parts left. So is it even the same boat anymore, or ship or whatever? It's that same kind of thing, But so it's hard, man. It's hard. I'm excited to get Linkin Park back, and I'm very excited to hear this album. But you also have all the other issues with Emily, like her Scientology thing and the Danny Masterson thing. The Scientology thing, I don't really care. It's like, I guess, is it technically a religion? Which people are like, it's a cult. Dude, Christianity is a cult. Every religion is a cult. It's just a cult. That's what they all are. And it's not like Scientology goes around just, like, sacrificing babies and virgins. I know they're fucking weird, and I don't know a whole lot about Scientology. But apparently, this is a lot of it, so it's all speculation, too. She was born into Scientology. She was, like, second generation? So she was literally raised in the environment. You can't hate somebody that much for who was raised not to know better. And also, you can say, yeah, well, she, as an adult, she could get out of it and do all this. But, like, do you know anything about Scientology, dude? They will ruin your life if you try to escape Scientology. They will literally ruin your fucking life. And Also, apparently she's gay too, which is not allowed in Scientology. So it's like she's not even a part of it. She's not even like in Scientology anymore, I guess. And even if she was, I don't care. It's fucking. It's just a cult. They're all cults. I don't know, man. Again, it's not like she's going around like stealing baby blood and taking a bath in it or something. They're just fucking weird people that believe in a spaghetti man in space or whatever have you. There's weirder shit, man. But again, I don't know. I don't know enough about Scientology to really judge her on that. I just look at it and go, okay, she's a Scientologist, whatever. It's like, okay, you're atheist. Okay, you're Jewish. Okay, you're. It's not like she's a Nazi. It's not like she's a racist. So. And then there's the Danny Masterson thing, which, again, everything is speculation. Everybody's jumped on it because they're all looking for a reason to hate and to tear her down and to ruin it because people online are just fucking toxic, man. And the Danny Masterson thing, everyone's like, she's a rape apologist. No. She followed him on Instagram up until recently, but it's like she also apparently doesn't use Instagram very much. So, like, she was following him from when they were friends and then just didn't remove him because she's not using Instagram. I'm sure I follow people that I probably don't want to be following, but I don't fucking care. I don't go through my following list and be like, oh, this person's problematic. Let's unfollow them. Like, man, I don't know. It's just... Plus, a lot of people follow bad people just to keep up with their badness, A lot of people fucking follow Trump just to see what shit he's posting about. People follow shitty musicians to watch them. People follow Ronnie Radke to watch his meltdowns, and they fucking despise him, So that's a hard thing. And also, from her statement, she showed up to support a friend during that first trial before she knew a whole lot of what was going on. When he was judged and found guilty, she's like, okay, we're not friends anymore. And she turned around and never looked back. Paraphrasing, those were her words, And as far as we know, she didn't support him after that. The only evidence they have that there's like, oh, she still supports Danny Masterson is that she followed him on Instagram up until she got called out on it. But it's like, he's not posting from fucking prison. There's no touchpad in his asshole where all the dicks are hitting him because he's getting destroyed for being a rapist. Like, what? Okay, she still follows him. It's like, oh, I didn't unfollow him. Maybe, whatever. It's like, I can't speak on it, but I just find that such a fickle, stupid thing. Like, if she came forward and talked about it and says she doesn't support it, like, what else do you need? Yeah, oh, she's saving face, but I don't know, man. It's insane. And people are just destroying them. And again, here's the thing I've been saying too is like, she would not be getting so much hate if she was a man. And it's a fucking, that's just the cold, harsh truth of it, honestly. Do you think if they had a male singer up there, he would be getting ripped apart nearly half as much? No. But people fucking hate women, okay? People hate women vocalists. People hate women stepping into the role of somebody that was a man that they knew, or that they thought they knew, You can't... But... Again, the thing about it too is like as much as I'm so supportive and I want to see where it goes, I'm very interested. I am conflicted on whether or not I want them to be singing their old music. If she changes her pitch and she adjusts to actually try to sound a little bit more like Chester, then okay, then those old songs can stay because you're actually trying to sound like the songs. Otherwise, it does kind of sound like a karaoke thing if you're not even singing the right tune. That's a little bit annoying. It made some of those songs very hard to listen to. But I do think she has a really nice, clean voice. I heard a little bit of it, and it's like, yeah, just do that. You save your screams for the screams, and you don't have to, like, push. You don't have to, like, crawling in my skin. You don't have to be doing that. Just crawling in my skin. Just do that. You don't need it. You don't have to, I don't know. Who am I? I'm nobody. But I'm excited to see their new album. And here's the thing. You can replace the lead singer for a band and have it go on. It's been done before. It's also failed before. But they're also not replacing. Replace was the wrong word. You can have a new lead singer and have the band still work and play the old songs and have it work. However, I don't think it works the same for some bands. You can't replace Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. That couldn't happen. You can't have somebody fill in Chester's spot. It's not right. It doesn't feel right. It does make me feel a little bit nauseous, but I'm also, again, still excited. I'm leaning towards positive. But that's like, you can't imagine replacing Jonathan Davis. Imagine somebody coming up there. Imagine Philip Labonte from All That Remains, completely different genre of music. But imagine him coming up there and trying to sing Jonathan Davis. It wouldn't work. Imagine Gerard Way coming up, and it's like, yo, it's cool to see them, but like, it's not Jonathan Davis. They're emulating the lyrics. They're emulating the true raw core emotions, even if they feel it in their own way, like I said that I do. Even if they interpret it their own way, it's not their words, you know. And I get emotional over songs that aren't my words either. I don't. It's hard. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. It's just, it feels a little hollow, you know. But maybe that's just the harsh rejection in me wanting to look the other way and wanting to be mad at it. But how can you be mad at it? Linkin Park is back, and we're gonna get some more music. And hopefully, if it's anything like the Emptiness Machine, like that first single, I'm fucking stoked, dude. I think it's gonna be rad as hell. But I don't know, man. It's tough. It's really tough. Cause it's really hard to see somebody on stage in the place at Chester. It really is. There's so many pieces of me that I see in Chester. And when somebody else is up there singing it in his spot, or at least adjacent to his spot, it does. It makes me feel wrong. But that's something I have to cope with. And that's definitely not something I'm going to attack Linkin Park for, you know. Another thing you have to keep in mind is that this was not a decision that they made lightly. You know, Mike wasn't like, yeah, you can be in here and do this. You know, and Emily was also apparently under the impression that maybe she would just do some live shows with them, that they'd have like rotating vocalists, which I think that would be kind of cool if they had rotating vocalists come in and Linkin Park was like a band where they made new albums with a bunch of different secondary vocalists, and Mike became the lead vocalist, and they just had like this song featuring this song featuring this, and they didn't have like a permanent member standing next to Mike, and they just had a bunch of people cycle in honor of Chester and whatever. I think that would be sick, honestly. I think I am leaning more towards the idea I don't like them having a permanent new vocalist. Because, again, it just feels a little dirty. It feels wrong. It feels like I stepped into a weird adjacent timeline that just missed the mark. So, I personally think if they didn't have a permanent stand-in and did studio and live shows with different vocalists, I know you can't really do live shows like that because you can't just, like, have one other, you can't have the vocalist from Bad Omens, I don't know his name, come out for one show, one set or something like that. That's a complicated mess. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I have no solutions. These are just some ramblings and just me trying to argue points and regurgitate points that I've been seeing on TikTok and on Instagram and on Facebook. And yeah, I'm just going to be rambling and repeating myself. So it's complicated. But I'm overall anxiously looking forward to it and trying to steer away from the negativity. So let me know what you guys think if you've been keeping up with this. And, yeah, leave a like in the video, subscribe for more. I don't do these kinds of videos very often, but I mostly do covers. So check those out if you want. I will see you guys in the next video.